The judge's gavel struck the desk, echoing like a gunshot. "Order in the court!" Everyone froze. You could almost feel the tension in the air. Heavy, suffocating, electric. At the center of the courtroom sat Michael Turner, a man in his late 40s with tired eyes and a trembling jaw. Across the room, his younger sister Lena Turner refused to look at him. The two hadn't spoken in months. Not since their father's death and the shocking discovery of his missing will. The courtroom smelled faintly of old wood and coffee. Reporters whispered at the back, their pens ready to capture every word. This wasn't just another inheritance dispute. It was a public war between siblings, one fighting for money, the other for justice. The case begins. The judge adjusted his glasses. The State versus Michael Turner. Case number 2143. Accused of forgery, fraud, and the falsification of his late father's will. Lena's lawyer, a sharp woman in her 30s named Sandra Blake, rose from her seat. Her voice was calm, but every word cut like glass. "Your Honor, the evidence will show that Michael Turner forged his father's signature in a desperate attempt to claim the entire Turner estate, a property worth over $12 million. Michael's lawyer, David Clark, quickly stood. "Objection, Your Honor. My client has denied these accusations from day one. This is a family tragedy, not a crime." The judge nodded. "Objection noted. Proceed." Lena's hands shook slightly as she clutched the edge of her seat. She remembered the day of her father's funeral, the rain, the whispers, and how Michael had avoided her eyes. 2 days later, the new will appeared, naming him as the sole heir. It didn't make sense. Their father had always said, "Everything will be shared equally between you both." Witness number 1. The notary. The first witness was Mrs. Collins, the family's longtime notary. Sandra walked up to her. "Mrs. Collins, can you tell the court what happened on June 5th, the day this new will was supposedly signed?" Mrs. Collins adjusted her glasses nervously. "Well, that's the strange part. I was out of town that day. My signature on that document, and it's not mine." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Lena looked up, her heart pounding. Sandra stepped closer. "So someone forged your signature?" "Yes," the woman whispered. "And it looks exactly like mine." Michael's lawyer immediately stood. "Mrs. Collins, are you saying my client forged it?" I can't say that for sure, but whoever did it had access to the documents in my office." Michael's head dropped. When it was Michael's turn to take the stand, the room fell silent. His lawyer gave a reassuring nod. "Michael, did you forge your father's will?" Michael's voice cracked. "No, I love my father. We didn't always agree, but I'd never do something like that." Sandra stepped forward. "Then how do you explain the missing original will? The deleted digital copies? The notary's forged signature?" Michael hesitated. His lips trembled. "I don't know. Maybe someone wanted to set me up." "Who?" she pressed. "I don't know," he shouted, slamming his hand on the stand. The courtroom erupted with whispers. The judge's gavel hit again. "Order!" Lena looked at her brother, tears filling her eyes. He looked broken. But was it guilt or fear? The hidden truth on the third day of the trial? Sandra revealed something no one expected. "Your Honor, we've obtained a new piece of evidence. A security camera recording from the notary's office the night before the will was submitted." The lights dimmed, and the video began to play. At first, the footage was grainy. A man in a hoodie entered the office, moving carefully toward the file cabinet. Then, as he turned slightly toward the camera, his face became visible. Lena gasped. It wasn't Michael. It was Ethan, Michael's 22-year-old son. The entire courtroom went silent. Michael's mouth fell open. Sandra paused the video. "As you can see, Your Honor, it was not the defendant who entered the office that night, but his son." Michael stood up. "No, that's not possible. Ethan would never—" But deep down he knew it was true. The shape of his shoulders, the way he moved. There was no denying it. The cross-examination Ethan was brought in the next morning. He looked terrified, his hands shaking as he took the stand. Sandra began calmly. "Ethan, do you recognize yourself in this video?" "Yes," he whispered. "And did your father tell you to do this?" Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "No, I just wanted to help him. After Grandpa died, everything got worse. Aunt Lena said she'd take us to court. Dad was drowning in debt. I thought if he got the inheritance, everything would be okay again." Lena's jaw dropped. Michael closed his eyes, pain washing over his face. Sandra's tone softened. "So you forged the signature?" "Yes. And your father didn't know?" Ethan shook his head, sobbing. "He didn't know anything." I swear the judge's face was grave. "This changes everything." Emotional collapse. Lena looked at Michael. For the first time in months, she saw not a greedy man, but a broken father. He whispered, "I didn't want this, Lena. I just wanted to keep what was ours." Her voice trembled. "Dad wanted us to share it, Michael, not destroy each other over it." Michael covered his face, crying quietly. The courtroom that once buzzed with whispers now felt frozen in sorrow. Sandra rested her hands on the table. Your Honor, given the new testimony, we withdraw our charge of forgery against Michael Turner. But we request leniency for his son, who acted out of misguided loyalty. The judge nodded slowly. This court recognizes the pain caused by greed and the damage done to family bonds. I hereby clear Michael Turner of all charges. As for Ethan Turner, his case will be reviewed under juvenile consideration. The gavel struck one last time. Court dismissed. After the verdict outside the courtroom, reporters swarmed, cameras flashing, microphones thrust forward, but Michael didn't say a word. He simply looked at his sister. For a moment, Lena hesitated. Then she stepped closer and hugged him. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet, but it was a start. I lost our father once, she whispered. I don't want to lose my brother, too. Michael nodded, his voice breaking. I'm sorry, Lena, for everything. Ethan stood behind them, crying quietly. I just wanted to make things right. Lena placed a hand on his shoulder. Money can always be earned again, Ethan. But trust, that takes a lifetime. Weeks later, the Turner estate was finally settled. Lena and Michael decided to sell the family mansion and donate a portion to charity. A decision that would have made their father proud. Life slowly began to heal, though scars remained. One evening, as Michael sat in his father's old study, he found a sealed envelope hidden behind a bookshelf. Inside was a handwritten letter, their father's real last message. It read, To my children, don't let my money divide you. What I leave behind isn't my wealth. It's my wish for you to stay together. Remember, love is the only inheritance that truly lasts. Michael's hands trembled as he read it. Tears blurred the ink. He called Lena immediately. When she arrived, they sat together in silence, holding the letter between them. For the first time in a long while, they both smiled through tears. Final reflection. In the end, the Turner case became more than a courtroom story. It became a lesson, one that resonated far beyond the walls of that courthouse, because greed doesn't just steal money. It steals peace, trust, and love. And in a world obsessed with winning, the real victory is knowing when to let go. As the judge said, that final day, justice isn't just about who's right or wrong. Sometimes it's about finding the truth that heals. And that truth, in the Turner family's case, was that no amount of money could ever replace the bond they almost lost forever. Money can build walls between families, but forgiveness can tear them down.